The Cosmere is filled with all kinds of creative curses and phrases from the various planets that the stories take place on. In this video, we'll be tier ranking some of the more popular ones. I did my best to include curses and phrases from every planet that we've experienced so far, but let me know in the comments if there are any good ones that I missed. Before we get into the tier ranking, I want to tell you how you can get an audiobook absolutely free thanks to the sponsor of today's video, Audible. All you have to do is use the link in the description and sign up for an Audible Premium Plus 30-day free trial. After you sign up, Audible will give you a credit, and you can use this credit to get any audiobook of your choice absolutely free. That could be your next Cosmere book or a book from a completely different series. If you're into sci-fi, I'd highly recommend checking out The Three-Body Problem. The membership also gives you access to the Audible Plus catalog, which includes thousands of other audiobooks and podcasts for you to enjoy. Claim your free audiobook today by using the link below. The first curse that we have is Blight It All, and this is used on Roshar by Axies the Collector. We see him use it when he wakes up with a splitting headache, completely nude in a back alley in Eerie. The first thing he thinks to himself is Blight It All. It happened again. He also uses slight variations on this, like he'll just use the term blight to put emphasis on something, like he'll say that something's blighted difficult. Things like that. This is a pretty good one. I like that in the audiobook, Michael Kramer gives Axies like a British accent. It makes it sound even better. But ultimately, I'm just gonna put Blight It All in B tier. Next up, we have By the Forgotten Gods. This phrase comes from Scadrial. It's heavily used by Sazed during the Mistborn Era 1 series. And we also see Tindwyl use it. So this seems to be a phrase that is very common amongst the Terrace people. I like this one quite a bit, but to be honest, it's not super versatile. Honestly, I don't think I could put it higher than B tier. I think I will put it higher than Blight It All though. Next up, we have Days and Nights variations. So this comes from the planet Cell. We see it used in the Emperor's Soul. So these variations include Days, Days of Light, Nights, and Nights of Fire. I like these Days and Nights variations quite a bit because they're pretty versatile. You can use them in a lot of different situations. Like for instance, here we see it being used when somebody's angry at somebody else. You always do, Days of Light. One day I'll rid myself of you. You can use Nights to reinforce what you're saying. Nights, yes, and 1,000 things just as detailed. You can use Nights to express relief. For instance, here we see Nights. I'm glad I got that right. So yeah, I really like the versatile phrases and curses. I'm gonna put this in A tier. Next up, we have colors and all the variations of that. So that includes colors, Astra, God of Colors, Lord of Colors, Colors Cursed, By the Colors. So these come from the planet Nalthis, and we see them used heavily in Warbreaker. This one is also very versatile. People use it to express disbelief. They use it when they're angry. They use it when they're shocked or surprised. So I'm gonna put colors and its variations in S tier. Next up, we have Damnation. So this comes from Roshar. Here are some examples. So here is Gaz when he's assigning Kaladin to Bridge 4. He tells Kaladin, I don't care what in damnation you said, you're in Bridge 4. Here we see Kaladin using it back to Gaz later in the book. He says, your efforts in staying the damnation out of my way, understood? And we see Dalinar use it quite often, so he's thinking to himself, damnation, not again. I don't think it's nearly as versatile as colors and its variations, but I will put this in A tier. Next up, we have the word father. This is from the planet First of the Sun. We see it used by Dusk in Sixth of the Dusk, and he uses it to refer to the island of Patji. He calls the island father. Now this one I pretty much just added because I wanted to have a term from every story that we've experienced so far in the Cosmere, but honestly, this one is D tier. I don't think I need to elaborate on that. Next up, we go back to Cell with Galladon's sayings. So unlike the Days and Nights variations, Galladon's sayings comes from a different part of the planet where Elantris takes place. He uses the word Dolokin, and an example of a sentence he uses it in is, what in the name of Dolokin do you think you are doing, you idiot? So Dolokin seems to be maybe the name of a doula god. He also uses Suli a lot. Hey Suli, how you doing? So in the audiobook, the narrator kind of gives Galladon almost like a Hispanic accent. But yeah, Suli pretty much just means friend. He always calls Raoden Suli. He also uses the term Kayana, as in Suli, you've gone Kayana again. So Kayana pretty much seems to mean insane or crazy. And lastly, he uses Kolo. He ends a lot of his sentences with the term Kolo, and it seems to mean basically understand. I really like the phrases that Galladon uses. I think I'm gonna put them at the bottom of A tier. Next up, we have one of my favorites by far, Airsick Lowlander. This comes from Roshar. Rock uses this term a lot, and it's always in a comical way. Basically, anybody that isn't from the Horneater Heights are considered airsick lowlanders. They've been breathing too much oxygen, and it's made them airsick and crazy. So yeah, I really like this phrase a lot. I mean, I've even used this in real life before with friends. It's just such a fun phrase to say. So this is going straight to peak. Next up, we have a phrase that we've seen in a few different stories. Usually it's used to refer to an entity that's potentially greater than 8 Analcium. This is used quite a bit and used as a curse word in the story Shadows for Silence in the Forests of Hell, which takes place on the planet Trinity, one of the most spooky planets in the Cosmere. So here are some examples. The main character Silence uses it quite a bit. God beyond, she thought. I can't decide if I want it to be them or not. Oh, God beyond, Silence thought. People on Trinity also thank the God beyond. I think this one's gonna have to go in B tier for me. Next up, we go back to Cell with the phrase Great Yadith below. So this is used in the story of Elantris. We hear Hrathen talk about Yadith all the time. So Yadith is the god of the Shuravf religion. Interestingly, we only see this phrase used once in the series. Usually Yadith is just being spoken of when they're talking about their god, but here we see it used as the phrase. So yeah, this one is not very versatile at all. I think this will go in C tier. Next up, we go back to Roshar in the Stormlight Archive with the word Gancho. Now this is a Herdasian term, and we hear Lopen use it all the time. Gancho seems to be very similar to the word Suli that Galladon uses all the time in Elantris. Gancho seems to just mean friend or like pal or whatever, buddy. Lopen uses Gancho to basically just end a sentence a lot of the time, like run up the wall, Gancho. So I think Gancho is very iconic, but I don't think it's versatile. I'm gonna put it right below Galladon's sayings. Next up, we have all the weird stuff that Lift says. I have some examples here. So first up, we have Stumer. Syl actually uses this. She tells Kaladin to stop being a Stumer. Kaladin is confused. I'm not being a... What's a Stumer? And Syl doesn't know. It's just a word that she heard Lift using. Stumer is obviously some kind of an insult. She also uses the term Blargolgorf. Lift sighed, leaning back, slumping there. Too annoyed to even make a good stool joke. She wasn't really angry, wasn't really sad, just Blargolgorf. Supremely Blargolgorf. So it seems to be describing an emotion that's a mixture of annoyance, anger, and sadness. Probably her most iconic term that she uses is starvin'. So she uses this to put emphasis on things. So here we can see her using it. Starvin', stupid horn-eater boy. Here we get another example. The most recent prime hadn't lasted 2 starvin' days. So the term starvin' is pretty much her version of the word storms or storming, which we'll see later on. And the last term that I wanted to point out that she uses is the term devi. The term devi actually caught on with other people too. Here we see Vale talking to some of her men, and Red says, "Knives are devi." Devi, Vale asked, opening her eyes. Red nodded. Devi, you know, incredible or neat, but in a smooth way. So I kind of think of devi as being the same as the real world word groovy. Okay, out of all of those, I think devi is my favorite. It's just fun to say. I'm gonna put stuff Lift says in S tier. Lift is actually, she's become one of my favorite characters, especially after Wind and Truth. Next, we go back to Scadrial in Mistborn Era 2. So throughout Mistborn Era 2, there's a lot of phrases that include Harmony's body parts. For instance, we have Harmony's forearms, what in Harmony's wrists, things of that nature. But then in The Lost Metal, we have Wayne use the term Harmony's wholly missing bits, woman. All right, I actually like this term quite a bit because it's true, right? Like, I mean, Sazed was a eunuch before he ascended to Harmony. And of course, it would be Wayne to use such a vulgar, but honestly, pretty humorous term. Just because of how true this term is, I'm gonna have to put it in peak. It's not as good as Airsick Lowlander, mind you, but it's still going peak for me. Next up, we go back to Nalthis and Warbreaker with the term Kalad's Phantoms. In the story, it's a legend that a few hundred years before the story takes place, a man named Kalad used a very powerful army that people refer to as Kalad's Phantoms to usurp the throne. And it's said that his phantoms still exist. They are just hidden and waiting for Kalad to return. People also use it as a swear word or a swear phrase. So here's an example. A terrible idea. Kalad's phantoms, man. We even have it used in a way basically cursing somebody. Kalad's phantoms take you, woman. All right, so this one's pretty versatile. It's actually kind of similar to Damnation in the way that people use it. I guess I'm gonna put Kalad's phantoms behind Damnation. Damnation's just shorter, more succinct, easier to say. And you know what? I think I'm actually gonna drop Days and Nights variations down to B tier. Yeah, that looks better. Next up, we go back to the Stormlight Archive and Roshar with the phrase, "What on Roshar?" Okay, so this is basically used in the exact same way that people in the real world use the term, "What in the world?" So it's usually when you're surprised or confused by something. This one is going at the end of B tier. I might even drop it down to C tier later on. Okay, this brings us to moon variations. This is coming from Tress of the Emerald Sea on the planet Lumar. There's a whole bunch of these variations, so here are some examples. We see Sele says, "Moon of Veils, you're so good at this." We also see Tress use the term Moon of Mercy, and she's using it to express surprise. So yeah, you get the idea. The variations that I found were Moon of Mercy, Moon of Justice, Moon of Veils, Moon of Menace, and Moon of Meanings. These ones, I mean, they're kind of versatile. They're kind of boring though, I must admit. I'm gonna put it above Great Yadith below, but it's still gonna go to C tier for me. Next up, we go to Scadrial, and this is used heavily in Mistborn Era 1. The phrase, "Lord Ruler." If somebody's exasperated, they might say like, "Lord Ruler, man, what are you thinking?" Here we even see it, somebody swearing by the Lord Ruler. I like this one. Lord Ruler is going between Damnation and Kalad's Phantoms for me. All right, next up, we go back to Sel and Elantris with the Domai variations. So these include Merciful Domai, Eidos Domai, Burning Domai, Gracious Domai, Domai Curse It, and Rag Domai, which is apparently a curse so vile that Serene had only heard it twice before. There's a lot of these Domai variations. I think I will have to put it in S tier. I mean, it's just super versatile. You could use it in so many situations. So bottom of S tier for me. All right, next up, we have another pretty funny one, but this one's quite confusing as well. So it's very common on Roshar to swear by the heralds, and a lot of times it will be the herald's body parts. Here are some examples. We have Ash's eyes, Talon's nails, but then you have this one, Nail's nuts. Did he have some kind of reputation that we don't know about back in the day that made people think about this specific type of body part for him? I don't think I want to know the answer to that, to be honest. But anyways, this is going, I think it's just gonna have to go at the top of B tier for me. It's super similar to Harmony's Holy Missing Bits, but since we don't know the actual story behind it and why people swear by Nail's nuts, it's not as good in my opinion. Next up, we stay on Roshar in the Stormlight Archive with the term passions. So this is used heavily with Thaylen people who they practice the religion, the passions. So here are some examples. We see Yalb, a Thaylen sailor, use it. Passions, this is a good sign. We also see Risen use it quite often. Oh, passions, I'm going to fall off of this and die. I find it sort of boring, to be honest. I'm gonna put it right above What on Roshar. I'm gonna have to drop What on Roshar down to C tier, the top of C tier. And Goncho's actually dropping down to the top of B tier. Next up, we go to Scadrial with the term rusts. Now this is featured heavily in Mistborn Era 2. And there's a few variations on this. So we have rusts, we have rusting, and we have rust and ruin. This one's nice. It rolls off the tongue, very easy to say, like, "Rusts, man, what are you doing?" Or "Give me that rusting thing." I like rusts. I think it's gonna go at the top of A tier for me. Next, we get to Sands. Sands is an exclamation that's used on Taldane. The only story we've had on Taldane so far is White Sand. It's used in a similar way as rusts, but it's not as versatile. They don't use the term like sanding or anything like that. Like, "Look over there, what is that sanding thing. That's not something they do. So they only use sands as like an exclamation, maybe when they're surprised or when they're angry. It's actually gonna go in C tier. Next up, we go back to Roshar with Blood of My Fathers. This seems to be a very Alethi term to use. Dalinar uses it a lot. We've seen Adolin use it before, like Blood of My Fathers, what's wrong with her blade? And we've even seen Amaram use it, I'm pretty sure. It kind of falls into the same category as What on Roshar, in my opinion. I like it better than What on Roshar though, so I'll put it at the top of C tier. Next up, we go back to Threnody with the term Shadows. So this is a pretty basic curse that people use. So like, shadows, what a day. Silence will use it when she's like surprised or even annoyed. Oh, shadows, she thinks we're being punished. Fool girl, foolish is her father. It's gonna go in C tier, but it's gonna go above moon variations. And you know what, I just thought I'm gonna drop Great Yadith below down. Next up, we have Stones Unhallowed. So this is also from the Stormlight Archive, and it's used by the Shin people. So we saw it used quite a few times in Wind and Truth. So here we see a Shin man, Lumo, use it. Stones Unhallowed. Here he's using it when he's surprised. Here we see Elid use it in a more casual way. That life was boring, she said. Stones Unhallowed. To think if nothing had happened, I might be sitting out in a field somewhere today. It's kind of similar to like Blood of My Fathers or What on Roshar. I'm gonna put it right behind Blood of My Fathers. Next up, we have a huge one, probably the most used term in the entire Cosmere so far, and that is storms in all of its variations. We see the word storms used on its own. If somebody's angry, they say storms, man. Or if they're in disbelief, like storms, I didn't see that coming. But there's other variations too, like Stormfather or Storm It. Storm It is the equivalent of damn it in the real world, pretty much. There's also Storm Me, which is also the equivalent of basically like F me in the real world. This is probably the most versatile of all the phrases or curses that Brandon has come up with. We're gonna put it at the very top of S tier. Next up, we go back to Scadrial and all the survivor variations. So in Mistborn Era 2, the legend of Kelsier, the survivor of Hrathen, has become a full-on religion, and there's a lot of people that swear by the survivor. So here are some examples. We have by the survivor's scars. Oh, survivor of mists. What in the survivor's deadly name? By the survivor's spear. Holy survivor. Survivor above. So yeah, Kelsier left behind quite the reputation. I think this is gonna have to go in A tier for me. Maybe at the bottom of A tier though. And lastly, we go back to Roshar once again for the phrase Almighty above. All right, and there's all other variations on this too. People swear by the Almighty quite a bit, especially, you know, the people in the Vorin cultures. This one isn't great in my opinion. I think it's gonna have to go in C tier for me. There you go, guys. Let me know if you agree or disagree with my tier ranking here. It was actually more difficult than I expected to tier rank all of these. But yeah, thanks for watching. Support the channel by becoming a patron or a channel member. Links to those will be down below. And don't forget to get your free audiobook by using that link. I'll put it in the pinned comment. It'll also be in the description. Don't miss out on that opportunity. And that's it for this video, guys. I'll see you in the next one.